Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Welcome to Hey Julie, a podcast about Big Brother, about Survivor, no longer about Buddy Games. Buddy Games is over.
It's
Danielle, good
over. Is
morning.
it? Wow, that's news to me, actually.
I watched the end
What
of
an
the I
important buddy
watched
game.
I watched the end of Buddy Games. Not the whole episode, but the last 5 minutes because it was on right before BB25
Wow.
on Thursday night. Well, they needed to clear out some room for the 2-hour finale next week. What are they going to do for 2 hours?
So, does someone win on buddy games? Other than the
Yeah, they
audience,
win like 20. Yeah,
obviously.
they win like 20 grand and it's like split amongst 4 people. It's weird. It's like, what if a show were only the competitions in Big Brother, which are parenthetically the worst part of the show, and there's like 20 people because it's all teams of 4 and they're all the least interesting people in the world.
Uh-huh.
So you have a lot of that, like, so I have to take my canoe across the river and do a keg stand or whatever, but it's like so incredibly boring. So
Right.
it was
I
a flop.
noticed
It
that
was a not for me.
it's like because I watched Survivor one night and then the next night watched 3 episodes of Big Brother. Watching 3 episodes of Big Brother in one night is like a torture that people should be subjected to. Like, it's a powerful tool in our arsenal. But like, it is when you watch all 3 episodes and there's like a competition in every one, and in every one they go through those beats of like, so I walk into the backyard and I see that I have to balance on this beam and put the cup in the river, whatever. You're like, they
The
don't do
backyard's been
this.
magically transformed into a swamp. I
But they
mean,
don't
not
do
really.
that. No, not really. And on Survivor, it's like they just show us how it's done and that's it. We don't have to have like multiple contestants giving straight to camera information. Even Jeff doesn't do that. They like, why do we need this?
And then you're clearly given the prompt in the diary room, explain your strategy and say that with the following sentence. My strategy for this competition is fill
But
in the
like,
blank.
there's
And it's like, my
like,
strategy for the competition is to fucking win it. Like,
yeah,
do it
there's
faster than everybody else.
there's only so many ways to like walk across a balance beam and put a golf ball in a cup or whatever the competition is. Like,
Yeah.
there's not really much you can do to innovate in this competition.
While we're on this subject, let's just dive in. Um, I'll say this, and I'll give the grace to the BB producers that I'm sure many of these competitions are planned out quite far in advance in terms of which ones are being done which days, which with how much time left in the game. But we have this moment, kind of cultural moment last Thursday where America is evicted and she's like, these competitions are too dang hard.
Yeah.
And there are screenshots of Matt and Jag just wiping the floor with everybody in the veto competition from last Thursday night or 2 Thursdays ago, where they're like running through the popcorn or whatever that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you have to, I mean, Felicia's in her 60s. I would imagine Cirie is like in her 50s. Bowie Jane, spry,
Keeping it
spry
tight.
in her 20s.
Yeah. Doesn't have to worry about
Benjamina Button over here.
Bowie Gina Button. Bowie Gina Button.
Exactly. So I don't think they can change what the veto competition is on Thursday. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Do you think Bowie Jane picked Bowie Jane as her stage name because it kind of sounds like Billie Jean? Like,
yeah, in that accent.
The Australian
Bowie Jane is
version.
not my lover.
Okay, sorry, go on.
She's just a kangaroo. Said that I was the one.
Yeah, I just realized. So it sounds so similar.
So you have this cultural moment where like America's like putting into words what a lot of America, the nation is feeling. Maybe not the entire nation, but the people who watch Big Brother, which is like, man, these competitions are kind of hard. It would be nice to see Felicia win some or Cirie win one all year.
But Cirie never wins
and not
anything.
see these guys. I know we can talk about that in a little bit, but so you have this thing of like, man, these are really kind of competitions for young men to win. And
Yeah.
we've just seen that historically. And then the veto competition this week is a swimming competition featuring a professional swimmer. One of the
Right.
cast members this year is a professional swimmer. Granted, he didn't
An
win it.
Olympic.
There was some thought that he was actually trying to throw it as well. But like, maybe don't put yourself in that position to have the fans, the public, be like, man, you guys are kind of rigging this for the two young men that you seem to like. Granted, they're much better, but like, just again, we say this, I don't know, like once a month, like put more random mass competitions in there. You know, I think this year, I'll shut up in a second. I think this year there were maybe only 2 or 3 live head of households this year, which is like, we're in week like 13 right now. Like, that's kind of just
Oh,
like
yeah.
criminal. It's just criminal. Like, they're fun to see. It's fun to watch everyone in those little booths. It's fun to watch the queen of the whiteboard, Bowie Jane, whip out the whiteboard and guess
Yeah.
$1 Bob.
Fan favorite. Fan favorite. This has become, she really, like, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable at this point. Like, 3 makes a trend. It's not a
Oh,
fluke at this
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many other things to talk about, but like, yeah, the competitions, man, we gotta fix this stuff. We gotta fix this stuff. As Danielle is completely frozen. Danielle gets on the call with me. She appears to be in a bathroom and she's like, I hope the Wi-Fi is okay this week. I don't know. And I'm like, well, it's looking a little pixelated to me. And you know, I can't hear her. Uh-oh. I'm hearing a little bit of this is gonna be funny on the podcast version of this, where Danielle is just talking and she's like, hello. I got you back. You're back down, Danielle. I'm gonna finish this thought. Danielle's like talking and I'm just like vamping. I'm vamping. Okay, but you're back now. Here we go. Hi, Danielle. How are you? Oh my Lord. And now she's actually fully gone. Fantastic.
No.
There. Come on. What's up? What are you doing?
It's Wi-Fi. There's nothing I mean, I can move, but
What you
it
can
says
do is
that
you
I'm
could, yeah,
fine.
but
I
you're
can
not.
move.
So this is a great podcast.
No, I know. All right. But should we pause and I'll move, or what should we do?
No, I mean, we're live.
Okay. So just keep going.
Sure. I'll edit it later.
Okay.
What do you have to say to any of the things I was saying?
Well, I was just saying that like everyone's unhappy with the way things are currently going. Everyone. I mean, at a certain point, production has to like take that in consideration, don't they? Or they just don't care.
I mean, we have 25 years of like, don't care.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's like, I don't want to get into too many details, but like there's a certain project. Let's say you worked at a big corporation. Every year in Q4, there's this big project that you know you're going to have to do. You know you're going to have to do it because it's every year. And yet every year, the people in charge of running this project don't give you any information or delegate any tasks until 1 week before it's due. And everyone complains about this because they're like, we had all year. We knew this was going to happen. Why did you wait till this time to do it? And the reason they don't change it is because everyone knows they have to do it anyway. So why even bother making it an easier process? I feel like that's the mindset of Big Brother producers, where they're like, we don't have to fix this. We know you little piggies are going to come squealing back every summer. Yeah. So you can complain all you want on your little Twitters and Discords. We don't care.
I mean, they've never really cared. I mean, is there a single thing that has there ever been a single thing that you can ever remember in terms of like the production of the show, the staging of the show, the mechanics of the show, where Julie Chen got on that stage wearing like a biker vest and like jean shorts and like a weird wig? And she was like, I wish. America, we hear you. We're wrong. We messed. Like, no, they've never done that. So I don't even think I think it's kind of crazy to actually assume that we would.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of just so for everyone.
This is amazing. The YouTube of this episode is going to be incredible.
I should turn my camera off. Everyone's getting like a tour of my house. For anyone who isn't able to join the live stream, I am switching rooms to hopefully a room with more solid internet connection. This is something that we had to do because I don't want to risk. Let me tell you all about my life for a second.
Yes.
Wait, let me prop up some pillows so that I can be comfortable. Right, you have to vamp for a minute.
All right, I'm gonna vamp. America, the contestant, America, the nation. I implore you to watch the YouTube version of this episode. We're roughly 11 minutes in at this point, so maybe I would say go back to like the 8-minute mark where Danielle cuts out completely. I vamp for a while. Danielle turns off her ring light as she in the middle of her talking, and then kind of like has this mental realization during the last bit while she's talking. She's like, I should probably just not even be in this room anymore. Gets up, walks around. We see a tour of the house. She's in a different room now. She's looking a lot more luxurious. She's looking.
I'm on my bed, so yeah, I'm feeling great.
So yeah.
Well, but let me tell you guys, here's the behind the scenes, and I know everyone is gonna fast forward this part, or they're gonna put it on 5x's because they're like, we don't care, Dani. But so I put a lot of time and work into getting the unused space in my house set up as an office space, which included having a Wi-Fi technician come on 2 separate occasions to make the Wi-Fi up there stronger. Okay, because the first time it didn't work, it broke, and then we didn't have internet. What did he do? He broke it. Like he came and he was like, "Yep,
do anything.
It's gonna be stronger than ever." And then he left, and then it broke.
Honestly, fly me out to Toronto. I could make it better.
It's a modem issue. I know people love hearing about customer complaints, especially about like their home Wi-Fi. But so like I thought it was fixed the second time because I was taking meetings up there all day yesterday, video meetings, and they were all fine. So that's why
everyone was slacking each other, Microsoft teaming each other on the side, being like, "Yeah, I can't understand a word Danielle's saying. I don't care. As once this meeting's over, I'm gonna do my own thing."
It was Friday, right? So who cares?
No meeting Friday.
I got up there. I had my little coffee drink. I left everything. I feel like I just had to flee from my comfort zone because I had my drink. I had 2 drinks up there. I had my charger. I had my like emergency lip in case I needed to apply. I had my beautiful, well, it wasn't really working because the light up there is kind of weird, but I had my like ring light that Brett peer pressured me into getting. He was like, we got to make that.
Oh my God.
We got to make that stream.
Fucking $17 on Amazon.
And so I'm just like, this is hard. This is a hard place for me to accept that my home office situation that I was so proud of is a flop. I'm very upset right now.
Jen F in the chat says, okay, can confirm this is hilarious in audio format because I've been driving and listening and can only type here because I'm stopped in traffic at the moment.
Okay, yes, definitely do not type while driving. Thank you.
Have people committing vehicular manslaughter to listen to this episode live.
Like what can I say? I was trying to make my life better, and now I just made it worse for everyone. Brett, the steam was coming out of his ears. He was like, "Ugh, she better not ruin this with her stupid Wi-Fi connection." The second I was like, I could see it on Brett's face. The second I was like, "I'm in a new location today," he was instead of supporting me like a friend, he was like, "This is gonna be a mess."
Yeah, no, I mean, right. I could see that. Right. Like it's like you looked like you were in a bathroom and you were coming in as a bunch of pixelated squares. I've been to your house.
I was not in the bathroom, for the record.
I was like, okay, great. Wow. Oh, not only will it be pixelated, but like I'm gonna hear this, like the sound of her voice bouncing off all the tile.
What? No, the audio was fine, was it not?
I haven't even dug into the audio yet. We'll see.
Well,
anyways. Oh my God, we spent like 9 minutes on this. This is truly iconic television.
I'm sorry, but listen, I try to keep it real. I have to tell people the true details. There's no secrets here on Hey Julie.
No.
Tales of my incompetence are publicly told.
Speaking of incompetence, is Bowie Jane gonna win Big Brother 25?
I don't think so. I just don't think she has the jury. Who? Thank you, Jen F. Who is hopefully not. So again, not driving, says that this is amazing and we shouldn't cut it. So thank you. I just don't think Bowie Jane has the only person who is giving her due. I actually think it's kind of annoying the way the jury were shitting on her. Cameron was the only person giving her flowers, being like, well, she did win. Like, she did do it. She was the one who nominated you guys, and that's the reason you're here. And they were like, oh, she's just listening to whatever Jack says. Yeah, at a certain point, yes, but also that's her alliance.
And she just outwardly says, I plan to be extremely loyal to my alliance.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, she doesn't really think about Endgame at all, really. I mean, she is the most loyal person to have ever played Big Brother. So,
And is that a crime?
talk about it. Yeah, is that a crime?
Isn't
I mean, she would know. She's a lawyer.
Usually people yeah, she's a barrister. Usually people love the loyal contestants on Big Brother. They love them. They're fan favorites. Bowie Jane, the tides have truly turned against her. I think we need to pull up a comment from our Twitter.
It's rough out there for people who support Bowie Jane, which we like kind of do for comedy. Sorry that Danielle and I are trained comedians. Sorry that we understand what's funny.
Yeah.
That's why you listen to this stupid flop podcast.
Okay, so Brett tweeted, Bowie Jane is so good, she melted Cirie. Cirie is unable to even make a coherent pitch to Bowie Jane because BJ is so physically, mentally, and spiritually intimidating. And then Crime Psych Major on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Not Comedy Major.
Said, no one's going to listen to your flop podcast when you make bait tweets like this. One like. It did get a like from not us. Someone liked it. Not us.
Who?
Someone.
Who?
Let's see. Mimi. Mimi liked it.
Yeah, actually Mimi liked it. Here's the thing. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh god.
About Bowie Jane, about our flop podcast.
Okay, this is what that tweet was in reference to. I was watching the Thursday night episode and live tweeting, as I do once a season.
Yeah.
And Cirie's like, okay, I'm gonna go and make a pitch to Bowie about like why she should save me. And it is the most awkward thing I've ever seen. Cirie, okay, let's just say we'll talk about Cirie eventually. Cirie is like supposed to be excellent at this, and for the most part has been incredibly excellent at manipulating people, making people feel heard, making people feel empowered to do what Cirie wants to do. Cirie got to the end of the game doing like the most nothing, like for this reason. Never really put on the block, never really targeted, especially in the first half of the game when she was like doing a lot of the puppeteering and stuff like that. Cirie walks into the bedroom and is like, hi, Bowie, I'm gonna make my pitch to you. I hope you keep me. It was so un-Cirie because Bowie's a crypto hacker.
Yeah.
Bowie cannot be perceived by human or AI alike.
She's the
Bowie
Matrix.
is the Matrix. The reason why she dresses like the Matrix on Thursday nights. It was just so un-Cirie to see Cirie come in and like act like a teenage boy asking someone out to prom.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene happened. I'm not lying. And it's just funny that Bowie, who is like sort of like accidentally did make it to final 3 of this season.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I think I spoiled something, whatever.
At this point,
like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy because she's like kind of not good, but also in a way she's kind of okay at Big Brother. And Cirie, who is this mastermind of stage and screen, who has won reality shows, who's come in second place on a handful of other ones, is like confused, is like misted by Bowie Jane. It's funny. It's true. It happened. Like both things can be true.
People are not loving it though. People have turned their back. I used to see a groundswell of support for Bowie Jane because people were kind of like mean to her, excluded her. But ever since Bowie Jane joined the winning team, as it always happens, people suddenly have a big problem with her. And they don't think it's so funny. for you to compare Bowie Jane to Queen icon reality star Cirie. I personally thought it was very funny. And I also I don't think we're giving Bowie quite enough credit. Do I think do I genuinely in my heart think she's like this great iconic player? No. But I also don't think she's the worst ever. She's won 3 comps at this point. She is actually the queen of winning that specific comp. like
Yeah.
like that's a fact. Put it in the record books.
And so I was kind of spoiled on who won HOH, and like, oh no, that wasn't. I was spoiled on who won HOH, like when I'm watching the thing. So I'm like watching this happen in slow motion, the final quiz thing of the night, and it's like, oh my god, I thought she was just gonna win it with points, and it's like, no, tiebreaker. I'm like, this is over. This is like, no, you don't go to like shoot like, if like a golf match is like tied at the end, like they do an extra 3 holes or whatever, and it's like,
right,
you don't want to go to the end with Tiger Woods and do the 3-hole extra thing.
Yeah.
Bowie Jane's the queen of the whiteboard. And I'm like, here we go. Bowie Jane's gonna write.
And she knew it too.
And it's gonna be like, how many minutes was in a decade or whatever? And Bowie's like, I don't know, 3 or something like that. And she's gonna win because Shaq's gonna write 20 million. And Bowie actually got closer without going over.
I know, because I was screaming at the screen, just write 1. I was screaming it.
That's what I was again. I'm thinking this, and I'm like, if I'm ever on Big Brother, which I'll never be, I'm just gonna write I'm not gonna write 1. I'm just gonna write 7, because someone's gonna write 1. I'm gonna beat them.
Yeah,
and the number is gonna be 48,000 or something like that.
My strategy in this comp is I'm gonna write the number 7 on the whiteboard.
My strategy for this comp is I'm going to use thousands of years of mathematical theory to multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Write it down on the ledger using alphanumeric numbering system that we as a human society have all agreed upon to represent digits.
I think that's a great strategy. And that's the strategy Bowie Jane has used 3 times in a row. I just love watching them do math on their little boards. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just write 1. But I mean, at this point, Bowie's got to be calm. She's got to be feeling good, feeling confident. Like she knows she's taking this one home. You cannot beat Bowie Jane at a whiteboard and memory comp. It's just, this is her comp. Period.
Oh, Danielle, I'm getting a text message from Allison Grodner right now. Part 1 and part 3 of the HOH. Just write a number on a whiteboard.
Write a number, folks.
Okay, so I have been kind of assuming that Bowie Jane's going to get 3rd place in this, which I now actually think is wrong. I think Bowie's like kind of going to get 2nd place in BB25.
I agree. I think she's for sure going to get 2nd place.
If she makes it to 3rd and casts a vote, what is funny about Bowie Jane is I do think she has somewhat bad view of what's happening in the house and what the dynamics are. Whereas America, which we need to talk about eventually, I think has a really excellent view of what's happening in the house and what the dynamics are, even though she can't really do anything about them. Yeah. She's not really good at manipulating anyone unless it's a little boy, the least manipulatable person in the world. How much? Okay, let's just say Bowie Jane gets 3rd place. She gets, Matt wins final HOH. It's Matt, Jag, and Bowie, and he's like, I got to keep the Watchmen together. And what are the chances that Bowie casts her vote for the person who doesn't win Big Brother 25?
Wow. Well, to be fair, I actually think if it's between Matt and Jag, that's a hard thing to guess anyway as to who's going to be the winner. I don't think there's a slam dunk between the 2 of them.
I don't know. It would be weird. I honestly,
Jag, but I think Matt has a really strong case to make because he has had such a big disadvantage in the house. He's spoken about this in the episodes.
Yeah.
In a house where there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of whispering, there's a lot of people like going to other rooms to talk. Maybe you like other contestants could go and eavesdrop. Matt does not have that advantage. And I think that's a really good story to tell. To make it this far, having such a, this is what I would say, having such a strong social game that I was never completely left out because I managed to make other people tell me the secrets and keep me in the loop, even though they didn't have to. I would say that's
And never nominated.
never nominated. Like, I think he has a very strong case to win. So
I think there's like this. I think what also could happen. I've been thinking about this too. You're right. I think despite Jag's like, I think Jag is a better Big Brother player in kind of
he
every
really, yeah.
respect. Like he's better. He literally has won veto like 12 weeks in a row. I believe Jag actually might have won a veto in BB19 as well. I think I'll have to go back to
I was thinking about that as
the
I was watching
Joker
these
debate on
episodes. I
that.
was thinking like Jag has improved. Like you also kind of have to give snaps. I remember thinking like that, God, this guy freaking sucks. Right before he got voted out that one time. Remember
Yeah,
how
yeah.
he got voted out? I was just like, good, get rid of him. Like he's so, first of all, I thought he was really boring. And second of all, because I just thought he was not good and he deserved to go home. So I remember very annoyed that they had this freaking twist where they saved him. It was an anonymous vote and yet they let him come back in. But like since then, I do think he learned a lot and improved a lot. And that kind of player is impressive. It kind of reminds me of Paul from BB.
I was
18.
going to say the same exact name, but also in a perhaps negative light
Oh.
because I wonder if his jury, I don't think he, obviously different players, I don't think he created a level of animosity against him in a way that Paul did. Like people loved inside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think outside of the house that season too, in BB, was that 19? Right? The one that he lost to, the second one
To
that
Josh.
to Josh.
Yeah, that was BB19.
In that season, everyone loved him. And this is inside the house and outside the house. And then halfway through, everyone was like, fuck Paul. This guy's bully.
Yeah.
I
mean, that
don't
was a
think
pretty
it's
brutal
that
season.
same. I don't think I know. Well, except for Raven was in that season, who is
Yeah.
all-time iconic. Raven, Bowie Jane, tag team season.
Oh, bring them back for Legends.
I know. I don't think obviously there's that level of like, this person sucks, this person's a bully, this person betrayed me and ripped my heart out and killed my family. But I do think everyone likes Matt more. Everyone is like, as a person, Matt is like incredibly sweet. He's an incredibly good guy. I think more people are just like, they think of Jag and they're like, man, I can't get that dude out. Yeah, he's lying to me about this. I would hope my perception from the outside is I think Jag is a better Big Brother player than Matt. And I hope he would be rewarded for the win for that. If it is that final two, I would cast my vote for Jag to win.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if people are going to feel burned by Jag in some way, whereas they see Matt as someone who played relatively similar game, perhaps maybe a few less comp wins, but did it with causing a lot less blood on his hands, and he might be rewarded from that. So I think, to back it up 5 minutes, I think your point of like Jag versus Matt final two is not a clear cut
Exactly.
choice.
You were starting a hypothetical that was going to dunk on Bowie Jane for not voting for the right person, and I completely derailed it with my mind games.
Much like Bowie Jane herself.
Yes, exactly. I'm taking a page from her book. But like you said, sorry, spoilers, it's very possible that it's a Bowie Jane and Jag. Or yeah, Bowie Jane and Jag.
Bowie Jane's gonna lose $750,000 by winning the final HOH and being forced to choose someone who's not herself to go to the end.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I think Felicia would have been a really fun final too.
It's not clear that she won't be. If it's
That's
Felicia
true.
and Bowie Jane in the end, who do you think wins?
I would love that. I would think that would be such a fun. That would be such a fun final too.
And
For
yet,
me,
criminal psychology major 23 is gonna be like, you guys suck.
But like I was saying this, I was like, you know what? The problem is just like we were just discussing, between Matt and Jag, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man, I don't care.
I have no horse in that race whatsoever. Between Bowie Jane and Felicia, it's actually a little more interesting because like Bowie Jane never touched the block, won 3 comps, always like kept to the winning team. Felicia nominated every week, won 1 comp. But like had a very interesting social game. I think it bit her in the ass this week when we saw her. This genuinely made me sad when she told Matt, like, your friends are talking shit about you.
Yeah, that moment was weird. That moment was strange.
Because this was,
I
I
mean,
think this, coming from her, I think this was not, it was not necessarily a malicious, like, just to fuck with him. I think it was game. I don't think it was like to ruin his friendships. But
there was a mustard seed of like an element there that she was
yeah,
right about. That Jag was saying, "Oh, I'm an Olympian," sort of humorously. Like he was kind of,
yeah.
but like
But she
I,
was using her um social game strength is that she's this like mother figure who like does kind of tell it like it is. She was good about like always kind of keeping it real. Um and it just didn't work in this scenario. I think it actually had been working up until this point where she was the one who was always going to like take you under her wing and tell you like you're acting up or like this is not a
yeah.
good move for you or whatever, like from that motherly or grandmotherly standpoint. And yeah, in this particular case it just really missed the mark. But otherwise I
Well,
do think she had a really strong social game.
she's always been all season long. Like she's always had a mouth where like she'll say stuff, and even her closest teammates, Cirie, Izzy, even them were like, God, man, I wish Felicia like would not have said that. Like, they cannot trust Felicia when she's outside, like when she's outside of the room, because Felicia will go up to Matt when Matt's HOH and be like, "Hey, Jag's throwing you in the bus. Cirie, who you think is your mother's figure, she's ready to vote you out and stuff."
Yeah.
And Cirie and Felicia's actually right, like she's fully within her rights to do that within her game or
Yeah, of
whatever.
course.
But when Izzy and Jared left the game in the middle, Cirie was like, dang, I kind of got stuck with my least trustworthy of my 3 or 4 closest people in the game. The closest people Cirie was to in the game were Izzy, Jared, and Felicia.
Yeah.
And the 2 people who she could trust the most out of them, one was not her son, it was Izzy.
Right.
The second was her actual son, and the third was Felicia, who's a bit of a wild card. She tells it like it is sometimes. She gets upset about things and is like, I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about right now, even though I should probably cool off. Like, but it's funny because you would have thought that would have, especially the stuff with like the Olympian joke or whatever happened there, would have actually cost Felicia, but it didn't. I was like, oh yeah, maybe they are going to keep Cirie after this, but I don't know. I mean, that's also why it's also why I don't necessarily think Matt is like the strongest player. Like he can kind of just be easily convinced by his
He's emotional.
teammates, if anything. Like Jag's like, I want Cirie out this week. And granted, Jag and Bowie Jane had the control on that. Like something that I've never understood in this game was like, well, the HOH wants this person out and it's Wednesday. And it's like, well, they don't have any more power unless it's a tie. So like, what are we doing? Like, who cares what they want? Like, it's now to the people, the Vox Populi.
Yeah, exactly.
You decide
Rise up.
who it is. But I mean, they didn't show like too much of it on the show. And I have not watched feeds in quite some time. And I haven't been reading Hamsters in quite some time or whatever. But like, sounds like Matt was kind of okay with whatever happened, which means Jag was able to convince Matt and Bowie Jane was able to convince Matt.
You know what else Matt was okay with happening? Getting a girlfriend after the show named Riley.
Dang. How do you do that, man? How do you like hang out with someone twice and then like be separated from 3 months And then they write you a long letter about why they want to be your girlfriend. I
I
can't do that once.
tinfoil hat is on. Okay, like this also felt like really long ago because this was like last week that he was HOH. So it feels like it was forever ago, but we never talked about it. So we must discuss. Yeah, so Matt wins HOH and his HOH letter was from second evicted everyone's favorite blonde chips on head weirdo Riley. like who I do remember. I do remember because of Riley's promise. I will never forget that.
The
But, like,
precursor,
so it's not like she's a
charity to
total
Dani's promise.
yeah, it's not like it was a totally random thing where you were truly like, "Wait, who the hell was that?" But, like and I do think she has, like, I don't know if fan base is the right word, but I think people remember her fondly, like, of the fan community. But,
I
like
mean, I kind of liked Riley.
yeah, I had nothing against her. I didn't think she was a good player, but I thought she was
Yeah.
perfectly lovely. But, like, w it was just so random. It is very random from her point of view to like, has she been watching feeds? Is this what I'm meant to
Yeah.
believe? That she's been sitting at home watching feeds and deciding because it was like a thing on the show where he was into her, but I think she kindly rejected him.
I
Didn't she?
don't even remember that happening.
Okay.
I don't even remember that happening. I don't even think there was like any sort of proposal of anything. I thought they were just like kind of friends and
They were
like he
friends.
kind of
They
had
were
a
like
crush on her. And then she gets evicted and he is like making the Q-tip shrine. And like the further they got away, the more it almost felt like the further that time went on, the more romantic pressure he put, like the more romantic feelings he put
fantasies.
on the relationship.
It's
Like
called a
it felt like there
fantasy.
were two people who were kind of like semi vibing, and
Yeah.
that maybe if she lasted like 12 weeks into the game, they would have been like another like showman's couple. But like I don't think anything was really there other than like a little bit of vibing. And but without that time, with all the time, and then you're watching freaking America and Corey slurping each other all the time, like eventually you're like, yeah, oh, actually, I was in love with this person. Like, who amongst us?
That's
Who amongst
that's
us hasn't like hung out with someone twice and then a month later, 2 months later, a year later, being like, oh my God, that was gonna be my spouse.
right.
Damn, I guess I'll be alone forever.
Joy in the chat is saying people on Twitter were irate that production allowed this. But I don't understand what's there to be mad about what did they allow? Is it because he didn't get a letter from like his mom and I mean, I don't think it's that they allowed it. I think they prompted this. I think they're like, "Hey
Yeah,
Riley, like we
exactly.
like
This is better TV than his mom, who none of us have seen. Oh, Matt, we love you, we miss you, and we're proud of you. Yeah, who cares?
yeah."
Everyone's proud of their son who's on Big Brother.
Yeah.
We want
So
love.
but yeah, they're stoking this. They want
Yeah, of
these
course.
flames to catch
Whatever.
fire.
Is your tinfoil hat about production or about Riley like trying to get extra like clout for herself by like
Production. I think Riley's is a very sweet girl. Like
yeah, for
there
sure.
really didn't seem to be a mean bone in her body. She was very almost to a fault where I was like I could use her being just a little more mean. She was so like basic, sweet, nice, lovely girl.
Anything was like, I mean, she only lasted 2 weeks in the game, and
Yeah.
basically she was the first HOH, and the entire first HOH, all she was doing was trying to create like a 14-person alliance. And then privately with everyone, she was like, "Oh my God, everyone's gonna target me next week because I'm like doing so much gaming." And then she was
Well,
like she was just spinning out during her HOH about what it was gonna be like when she's not HOH, and that like everyone's gonna target her, which I didn't think she was particularly set up for, but she didn't shut up about it and was like she created the storm clouds around her. And then next week, when whoever like Heisen was HOH or whatever, it was just like, yeah, sure, we'll nominate you. And I didn't think she was like mentally like kind of strong enough to
no.
survive any of the pressure in the game.
I just thought she also had like the
No
most
question.
interesting, not most interesting, but like a very interesting HOH where like she didn't actually nominate anyone. These are all
Yeah,
default
exactly.
nominations.
She had one of the I can't believe we're like spending time on this like 12
Sorry.
weeks later, but she
I
had
know.
the easiest first week HOH.
Yeah.
She didn't have to nominate anyone. She with every single person, she was just like, Sorry, I had to. Like the game nominated you. I didn't even nominate you.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. All right.
R.I.P. Listen,
Can
I
we?
wish them the best of luck. I believe in
Can we?
love.
Yeah, I believe in a
Yes,
thing
can
called love.
we? Can we?
Can we talk about Cirie a little bit? Like I feel like we
Oh,
haven't done that, other than the fact that she was completely misted,
by Bowie Jane.
psyoped by Bowie Jane.
Yeah, I mean, there was.
She's a
It's
very
tricky.
important player. Yeah,
Pardon?
I think she's a very important player to the season.
She was an important player. I think she fell, and this was obviously on purpose for her, but she fell under the radar towards the end of the season, which was strategy, and it could have worked. Fortunately, it didn't. I thought something was interesting in her interview with Julie, where Cirie was making a lot of really good points about how, like, this show is 24/7, no breaks. Like, the union leader in Cirie was coming out, and Julie Chen did not wanna hear it. Didn't you notice that?
I loved this moment.
Yeah.
Cirie felt her job slipping away.
Mhm.
Cirie asks, or Julie asks Cirie, yeah, what's harder, this or that? And then she starts doing exactly what you're saying. This
Yeah.
is 24/7. You can't go. Imagine going into your job and then saying, you got a cot in the back. You got to stay here for 100 days. And she's going, and Julie's
They're screaming
skin
in her ear.
is
Yeah.
melting off.
Yeah.
She's like, I cannot. She's losing grip of her own show.
Yeah.
Cirie, you're the new host of the talk or the chat or whatever it's called.
Well,
What do you have an audiobook inside you, Cirie? And Julie in the middle tries to regain control. She's like, one of those things. And Cirie just keeps going. The audience is getting into it. And it's like Cirie or Julie Chen lost control of the episode. I thought the episode was fine. We weren't losing control of anything. There's plenty of free time. She lost control of it, and Julie was so challenged. She was losing control of her career by letting Cirie talk, and she wrestled control away. That was like a presidential debate there.
Yeah.
And that was some of the most compelling television that we've had on Big Brother this year.
Wow. Yeah. Because it was like Cirie was pulling back the curtain, right? It was kind of like Cirie being like, here's why this show is inhumane. Or like why people on this show should actually be making more than whatever it is they're making, like $1,000 a week, whatever it is. Like, this is a 24/7. They're probably making what? $1.50 an hour when you figure out that they're there for 100 days.
Danielle, queen of the whiteboard. I don't know, $1.
One. I'm writing one on my whiteboard. But like, yeah, I thought it was fascinating stuff. I was wishing we would hear more about this, but yeah, no. Julie was like, okay, great. Thanks, Cirie. We'll see you on the jury.
Goodbye.
No, here's what she did. Here's what she did, actually. She was like, well, Cirie, you got a lot of goodbye messages. Like, that's how she switched.
That was what it was.
It
was so good. I guess my question for you is like, there was a great portion of this game where it's like, where we said, here, just give her the $750K right now. Like, why are we even playing out this season? But especially once Izzy and Jared went out in the middle of the game, she was kind of powerless, and like, I think it spoke to her general social gameplay prowess, where she was never really nominated. I don't think. I mean, maybe she was, and I don't remember. But like, she was, even though people were kind of aware that she's pretty good at this. People were never really going after her. She knew with her position, she's like, I'm just going to put on that robe and hang out in my bedroom and not really do anything, but still come across like a voice of reason, a voice of authority, a voice of logic, someone that even, Corey or Jag could bounce ideas off of because they respected her so much. So she did really well in getting 5th place. At the same time, okay, let's just say the Felicia stuff with her kind of trying to pit Matt and Jag against each other because of the hearing thing. Let's say that Jag is like, you know what? Hell yeah, let's just get out Felicia, and Cirie's in the final 4. Like, Cirie hasn't done anything in this game. Like I don't want to take anything away from her because she was a great addition this season. I don't want the internet to be mad at me for me being like Cirie sucked. I'm not saying that. Cirie's good, but like also I don't think. If anything, Bowie Jane has a better case to win this game than Cirie did. If Felicia and Cirie had swap places and it was Cirie in the final four, like I don't think I'm like too crazy or out of pocket for suggesting that.
I think it's great that you brought up Bowie Jane because I also want to give her flowers
The queen.
for when Jag and Matt and Bowie Jane were in the HOH this week and they're whiff waffling between sending Felicia or Cirie home. Bowie Jane very matter of factly was just like, she's nearly won Survivor. She's like a veteran. And like we should vote her out. Like this is like sometimes I wonder if Bowie Jane is actually just so intellectually advanced that she can't believe that other people aren't also geniuses and realizing
what
the
a
very
flop
plain
podcast
truth.
idea to even suggest that and you're baiting the internet. Yeah.
But I mean I just think Bowie Jane deserves her flowers. But to go back to Cirie did a solid job in that she built a very good network at the beginning. I mean, she sort of had a leg up to the other side of the house because she had Jared.
As most returners do. Like many people
Yeah.
recognize her from Survivor, the same way that Paul, the first half of BB19, everyone wanted to work with Paul because they're like, I know what Paul is. He seems like a cool guy. I know how he plays the game. Of course, wouldn't you want to align with that? Because at least it's one thing that you get to know versus 15 other people that you don't know and don't know how to suss out if they're going to be loyal to you.
Yeah.
Same thing with Nicole Franzel or whatever. Like any returner, even though Cirie had never played Big Brother, she's a returner. She plays
There's always one
social chess games.
There's always someone who's like just so I mean, for Paul's season, it was like everyone on the cast except for Jess and Cody. But like in this season, like Izzy was never gonna turn on Cirie. Like Cirie found the most incredible loyal partner she could ever have. She was never gonna turn on them.
I know. I said earlier, her most loyal partner was Izzy, not her son.
Yeah. so but like, can we attribute that to luck or do we attribute that to like, at first Izzy was really into it because it was Cirie, but like Cirie fostered that relationship and made Izzy feel like she was part of the family. Like, I think she had a very strong I would say she had a very strong first to like middle tier of the game. And then, yeah, it just became like too obvious that you have to get Cirie out. Like the Bowie Jane wasn't going to let her slide away.
And her sidekicks like in
Yeah.
Jared and Izzy as well.
Got
Like I
chipped
think
away.
when they became like them becoming big targets, you know, it was good for Cirie in that they weren't targeting Cirie over these people. But when it's like, we got to get out Izzy and Jared, like once you're, you know, your close alliance members leave the game, the people who you can trust to win competitions, to protect you, to not nominate you. Like she kind of did have nothing the entire second half of the game. And she was just kind of just like on pure defense, just like running pure defense the entire time and had no capability to like run any offensive maneuvers, right? Like all she could do was just like survive the attrition. And also she didn't win a competition this year. So like we can talk about this in many ways, right? Like that's not fully her fault. It's probably the fault of production that like they need more random competitions. They need more mental competitions, but they did do mental competitions and Cirie won none of them as well. So I'm really glad she was on this season. She was great. But also like especially if she got into final 4 or final 3, I also would not have defended her and said that she deserves to win the game. Sorry.
Wow. I want to switch gears a little bit. But speaking of people who didn't really win competitions, but who are major threats, the jury segment featured Blue, our girl Blue.
Oh my God.
Saying multiple times that they had to get her out because she was the biggest competitive threat. And I'm just like, who is feeding her this stuff? She can't really be thinking this. This is like a classic example of someone building their own narrative and like just
Falling
saying
in
it. If
love
you
with
say it enough,
Riley from afar, yeah.
yeah, if you say it enough, maybe it'll come true.
That jury segment was the flop of flops, like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god," I'm watching it 2 nights ago, and I'm like, "The finale's next Thursday night, and this is the first and I'm imagining last jury segment." Maybe we'll get, like maybe they'll fly out Dr. Will or whatever. I mean, maybe we'll just Skype in or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
time to switch up the doctor, and it should be Heisem. Heisem should do the
Dr. Heiss
yeah.
he's a psychologist.
He's still a
Will is
doctor.
nip tuck. He's like, you got some jowls there. You got some cellulite. I can do that. I'm not a mental doctor. That jury segment was weird. You're 100% right. I mean, Blue is not living in any sort of reality or whatever. And when she leaves and gets like an understanding of like how she played the game and how other people played the game in circles around her, I think she will continue to double down on her. Like, well, I was the best kitty purr, whatever.
Yeah.
You know who I did not think came across very well? And it was interesting as there is a vote that she could likely win is America. Like
America. Yeah, I agree. She came across very, but
America,
she did say she was still salty.
I know
She was self-aware about it.
But she was, but then she's like, I'm still pissed off at Jag and Matt for betraying me. And it's like, they weren't working with you. They wanted you out. Like they didn't. If Corey betrayed you, that would be betrayal. Two people who you kind of had this like, you were semi-ally. America and Corey and Jag and Matt were like USA and Russia during World War II, where it's like,
wow.
Sorry for the history lesson, y'all. But like, we're like, we'll work together because like Germany, not feeling it.
Yeah.
Not feeling the Germany thing right now. But the two of us are like, we ain't gonna hug and sing kumbaya after this. We just both want Germany out. Like, not feeling the guy with the mustache down there. So the fact that she is so like emphatically salty about it, I don't know, it comes across as she seems a little bit like Blue, where it's like, what did you do? Right. Like, what did you do either? So whatever. I'll be happy if she wins America's favorite.
I don't
or
think
whatever.
she has a chance. I think it's going to be Cirie for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think that might have even hurt her chances at that though. But it's like, come on,
yeah,
get a grip. Like, I understand you're upset, but like they weren't working with you and you were going to vote them out the next week. Like, you have some sense of.
She was salty.
Yeah. I don't know, just like have some sense of objectivity about it.
Yeah. You know who came across great?
Your boy.
Cameron. Space Cowboy. This cowboy came across great. I was like, it was sort of like waking up after the party, waking up after the one night stand when you see him in the light of day. Now that he's out of the house, I was like, wait, he's not my crush. Like, no, I was kind of over it. I'm kind of over it, but I did think he came across really well. And he did come across very objectively. He knew who was getting. He seemed the most clear-headed. He was like, it's going to be Blue. Then it's going to be Corey. Then it's going to be America. Like, he knew.
That's how I feel with like the kind of like light of day moment with every single Big Brother player. Like the moment they're in the weird house in like San Fernando Valley, I'm like, who are you? What's your name? Like, I've already begun to forget their names. Like, I'm like once they're in the weird house, I'm just like, yeah, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Have you seen the internet speculation that the Space Cowboy and the Kitty Purr are hooking up in the jury house?
I've not seen the speculation. I would never guess that. Maybe
so this is all because of two photos.
Okay.
Because they post on the socials like photo, like we posted one of them.
Right.
There's like a photo of them all dressed up for Halloween or whatever, and it's like the four of them, and it's like America and Boots in the middle, and their like butts are facing out, and then Corey and Cameron on the other side. Of course, America's butt is facing Corey. She's standing next to Corey. That's her boyfriend.
Well, of course.
So like Blue's on the other side, like in the center, butt out, you know, like cute girl pose, and Cameron's there, and people are like, Blue is too close to Cameron. Her butt is too close to Cameron.
Oh, the butt.
And then in another photo of them carving pumpkins on Halloween night, she is wearing a red hoodie that many people have clocked as Cameron's hoodie.
Wow. I think it's very
I
possible.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just reporting the facts.
I think there's potentially an animal magnetism to Cameron in real life that few women could resist. I think it's possible.
I think Blue and Cameron are just naturally horny people.
Well, who can't relate to that? We all can relate to that.
Same.
So
Not relating.
should we discuss Survivor at all?
I
Or should
know.
we should do some
Spent 10
questions.
minutes discussing your Wi-Fi today. So
I know.
Survivor
Well,
we'll briefly do Survivor. Survivor, I mean, okay, in 2 weeks, we're gonna have like another like month and a half to talk about Survivor.
yeah,
I
I
thought
don't have that
Survivor
much
was
to
excellent.
say.
Survivor
I don't
was
have that
excellent
much to say.
this week. And Danielle has not much to say. The tribal, I don't know, just the tribal council was first of all, hashtag Brett was right. I said that a merge was coming and it was going to be the pre-merge split half merge thing, which I do not like, but whatever. Like, I want to see Bruce on the block.
Yeah,
I love what Katura just says. Bruce is stupid.
I love it.
Just says it in 3 words.
They're a good. That's a good relationship. Like not frenemy, even like a good competitive relationship there.
We'll talk about Survivor in this way. From the Discord, @Tullinator asked, did this evening's episode reverse the flop era of Shot in the Dark? Should they retire it after this because it will never be this satisfying again?
Yes, I do think they should retire it. I absolutely agree. Yes.
Was that Caleb is like kind of like annoying for me in the same way that a lot of people think he's annoying because he's like a salesman. He's like got this CEO brain where like he doesn't talk at you like a normal person. He only spins things like in a positive way, even though it's like you're fired. Like, but and like so funny that he's unanimously voted out, and also so funny that he actually that the Shot in the Dark thing actually wins. Didn't someone win Shot in the Dark, but it was like completely irrelevant for like another thing, another reason?
It's
It was
so
like a
hard for me to
complete
keep
flop.
track. Maybe, but it was. Yeah, I think we've. I don't have much to say. No, but like I do think like how could it be more satisfying than what just went down? I just don't think there is actually another outcome that could be more sad. I guess if like someone absolutely hated tried to use it and it flopped. But like other than
I thought it was great. Like the way I watch Survivor is like I think it's so interesting that the editing team knows who the winner is when they shoot the show. The show is shot months before it airs, and it's only shot over the course of 26, 27 days, something like that. So like, how do they present the story and then present the narrative of the person who wins? And I always look for someone who's like kind of under the radar in the first half of the game, because I don't think that they try to like show their hand and like show this as the Marianne story, even though Marianne I think was pretty involved. Like, so like I look at a player like Jay and I'm like, oh, she's a Brady all-star. She's someone who I think can win the game because she's kind of doing nothing right now.
Right.
So I was like bummed out for that, but also Jay kind of was like a nothing on that. So I was freaked out. I had Emily's look in my face when Caleb's safe and it's going to be Emily or Jay now. And Emily is walking around like Emily, who is, some like a piece of her is missing in terms of like how she relates to other people, but she's going around like trying to like, and no one's even talking to her. Everyone's like, oh, is it gonna be Emily or Jay or whatever? And she's walking around like stunned, like, please don't vote me out there. Like she sees it all. It's about to disappear for her. And I felt so bad for Emily as much as she's like kind of weirdo. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally felt very vindicated that Jay got voted out. And I think we should call this the revenge of the sandwich. And that other girl who also didn't want the sandwich better watch her fucking back. Maybe it was. I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Oh no, it was Emily.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Emily. It was that long dark haired girl.
Kendra? Was it Kendra?
No, Kendra's the crazy one, right?
Kelly.
Yeah. Maybe Kelly.
Yeah.
Whoever.
That's the name of someone who's on the show. Yeah. I believe you, Brett.
I don't have much to say about Survivor, but like I do think that the sandwich, like turning your back on that sandwich was the curse of the season. It's
That is
Austin's revenge.
so funny that every time Austin talks, he's like, "I'm so upset about that freaking sandwich, and
I agree. I
I
really
am
do.
going to, like, drown these people in the ocean
I
because of this
100%
sandwich."
was on his side,
That
and I'm
is
so
so
glad.
funny.
That's why I was
Yeah.
so glad to see her leave. She should look back on her time at that show and think of that moment where she tried to push for not the sandwich. That's really why she went home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're finally freaking merged now, though, of course, like, aren't they gonna do another thing where, like, "Oh, half of you are saved for, like, another stupid reason."
Probably. There's so
I
many
hate
of them right now, and I remember on Survivor, it's always like when you get to tribal at this point, there's so many of them, and then there's 4. Like, it just
Yeah, basically.
jumps. Let's see if there are some other questions. Questions for the pod. Oh, people wanted to know if Flava Flav's version of the Star Spangled Banner is the most iconic version of the Star Spangled Banner. Brett, as our resident American, what do you think?
Most iconic is, of course, Whitney Houston, I believe, during the 1993 Super Bowl. Um, Most iconic in that way, he's not even the most iconic bad representation of it because it would either be Fergie. I think it's Fergie at like the NBA All Star game like 2 or 3 years ago, or it's Roseanne, but I won't give
Mm,
Roseanne the time of day. So I'm going to say it's Fergie. Like this one is probably
not
honestly,
quite
I
up
think
there.
the Flava Flav one is probably actually gonna fall to 3rd place after Roseanne.
I don't
Sorry.
think it's
In
gonna
terms
be
of
remembered.
good, bad ones.
Yeah. From Misto Jen, question: if you fully embrace being chuggy, does that negate or double down on the chuggy? I think
What?
it negates. I think it negates the chuggy.
What what one more time?
If you fully embrace being chuggy, does that negate or double down on the chuggy? I think it negates.
I think it double downs.
Wow. Remember the double
As a
down sandwich?
yeah. Oh my god. As, yeah, Austin would have eaten the hell out of that one. As a young millennial mother,
Yes.
you wouldn't
Thank
know
you.
because you likely are chuggy. Like, it's gonna be a matter of time before, like, I come to visit you and you're like, every like, piece of signage in your kitchen is like, "It's wine o'clock." And and you're gonna be like, "Man, I got some thoughts about the border." And I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
The Canadian
Danielle's
border.
into chuggy, yeah. They're coming from America. They're bringing all their criminals into Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I don't yeah, I don't mind being chuggy. I've accepted it into my life with open arms.
Last question from actress January Jones. I'm over this season. Time to look forward. Who do you want to be on the rumored BB Legends season? Okay, Brett will add context. Julie gave a very tame interview to Entertainment Weekly where she like very lightly suggested that there would be a winter season
Yeah.
and that like, oh, maybe it won't be celebs, maybe it will be legends, but like nothing about it was like concrete at all. But of course, the internet having nothing better to do ran with that and is like Rachel Riley, Dan Giesling season confirmed.
I do like the idea though of legends as opposed to all stars because I think it level sets a little more because in my opinion, Heisem is a legend and he could be on it.
Well, actually, I I was gonna say that Heisem is an all-star. All-stars was like they don't know what to call it. They can't call
Right.
it returners because it's like All Stars 2 was like there's a global pandemic going on. We
Mhm.
don't want to deal with like trying to cast thousands of people. We don't want to put those people, we don't want to put our producers, we don't want to put our casting people in that sort of danger. Let's just call up 50 people from this spreadsheet and see if they're around. They're a known quantity.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we got all stars on BB All Stars 2 Christmas.
David.
Who? Oh, David. Oh, David.
I-
Exactly.
um
So Legends feels to me like they're even closing the iris, focusing a bit more on an even smaller list of like not just people who were on Big Brother, but people who were on it and very, very good at it. So,
Oh, I don't think they even have to be good at it. I think they have to have fans. I think it's more like fan
oh,
favorite season.
sure.
So that's
Sure.
why we can look forward to
Todrick.
yeah, exactly. Todrick and Blue. Um,
I wonder if
I
they could do it actually like semi like I wonder if Legends could also include like celebs who are good at Big Brother, like Carson, whatever his name is, not
Carson
Wentz,
Kressley.
not Daly.
Carson Kressley.
Carson Kresley. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I like you said, I think Julie was just trying to start a new press cycle so no one would focus on the fact that Cirie mopped the floor with her interview skills on
Oh my
Thursday.
god, yes.
but but I think it would be fun. Honestly, I would watch. If they do it, I'll watch that shit.
You will, and we'll podcast about it
We'll
because we're
podcast
little
about it. And I'll be
we're
podcasting
little
from my
piggies.
bathroom. My bathroom with no Wi-Fi.
It's crazy because I don't think we're ever going to be podcasting from that area again.
You're saying that because you're like not even subliminally. You're telling me that's Brett saying, Danielle, you better never ever podcast from that spot
Yeah.
again.
I like the bookcase. Where like I know the bookcase is
That's
like kind of
downstairs. That's in like the
downstairs in your
family
living room.
area.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. You've been to my house.
I know. So
Now when
I,
people are on calls, they have to be
your
banished
husband
to
and
home.
daughter don't like being banished to the roof when you podcast and not being able to watch TV in the living room like normal
Exactly.
people.
I'm trying to make the space work for everyone.
Well, have you considered how it works for me, someone who lives 2,500 miles away?
Brett's like, I did love that though. I hope everyone took note of that. Brett's like, yeah, it's so crazy how you're never gonna do that again. So that's what I said. I never said that. Brett's
That's
giving
how
a directive. I was just voluntold.
That is how good I would be at Big Brother.
Except it got clocked by me. That's Brett's missed. We just saw Brett's missed. All right, everyone. But you know what? It is gonna work because now I am like, oh, I don't know if I can do it up there.
Buy an Eero.
What's an Eero?
EERO. It's like a Wi-Fi extender thing. I've actually used it in a house that had spotty Wi-Fi at the back of the house, and it made things better.
I would love
No
to
free
buy that.
ads, but buy an Eero.
I
If
can't
you,
believe
the listener at home, need it. Sorry, what were you saying?
no, I can't believe it. All right. We got to wrap up and say thank you so much
I know.
to everyone who listened through this tumultuous episode. We really appreciate it. You can always tweet at us, Hey Julie BB, and tell us about our flop podcast. You can join our Discord and you can send us an email, heyjuliebigbrother@gmail.com. Next week, y'all, we're going to be together in person. I don't think we're going to be live streaming though, but we will be
No, I
doing
don't want to do that.
a
We are
very
gonna
timely podcast. A very timely podcast. So get your questions and comments in if you want us to react to them live together.
Yeah, we're gonna podcast together immediately after the BB finale on the West Coast. So that's the timing for it. We'll have the podcast in your inboxes or whatever on late Thursday night, Friday morning. And I can't wait, Danielle.
I can't wait.
We're gonna go to Applebee's. We're gonna have a bloomin' onion, though that's an Outback product. And I'll see you in a few days, Danielle.
I know it's gonna be so fun.
Are you gonna be pissed
wait.
off at me that I just like told you like how to podcast for the rest of your life and that you?
I'm gonna hold a grudge. No.
I feel like actually we're kind of entering like this spiky part of our relationship.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you later. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julies. Love you.
Love you.